They go to the gym together, they're like spotting each other at the gym. They have like conversations, they eat dinner together, they enjoy spending time with each other. And I think that's important for fans to know. I just want people to know that these players like do care about each other and do care about succeeding together.
Hey guys, this is Ashley Kang of Horizon Esports, and I'm joined by Basil.
Hello.
Hello, the influencer for FlyQuest, as she is currently here with us at Berlin for the 2024 World Championship. Hey Basil.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
And FlyQuest just won today, so that must be exciting. How are you finding Berlin?
It's honestly a lot different from what I'm used to. I live in LA, so being able to actually walk around here is really nice. I know it's controversial, but I really like the weather here.
Oh my god.
I know it's a bit gloomy and cold, but I love walking around in this weather. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
And I know that you used to come to the LCS studio back at LA a lot, but this is the LEC studio. It is a slightly different environment, and the tournament may go to Paris, which is going to be like an even bigger venue. How would you say LEC in particular compares to LCS?
I think visually it's a lot more appealing just because it's such a big studio, and the LCS studio is actually really small and it's shared with Valorant, right? But LEC is a lot smaller than I thought. Not in a bad way, but I don't know what I expected, but it's like the snack room is really big where they sell the merchandise, whereas the actual studio is really small, but really good for cameras, I think. So yeah.
I guess like people really like the level of broadcast that World is showing, but some people wish that I wish that there was more audience so we can actually hear things like chanting and everything, which is a big part of international tournament.
Yeah, I think especially because it's Swiss, there's like more teams. I do wish the audience is a little bigger, or at least like the stage area is a little bigger, because you can feel the passion from the stage. It's just such a small studio that's kind of hard, but yeah.
Is this your first international tournament, or were you also there for 2022 well?
So this is technically my first international because back when Worlds was in the US, right? It was really easy for me to go to finals since it was like an hour drive from where I lived. But this is the first time I've actually flown out, like 15 hours to Berlin. So seeing the crowd be like super different, seeing how many people fly in, like including me, is so cool.
What kind of fans have you seen?
I've been slowly introduced to like the fan culture from like the east side, where it's very like very K-poppy. So that's very interesting. I've also seen a lot of so I've always known about like G2 Fnatic hype, but actually seeing it in Europe is really crazy. The fans are so excited whenever G2 comes out. It's like screaming. I can hear it from the backstage rooms. It's crazy.
Like, I think it is indeed exciting that the tournament is eventually going to go to Paris because, so you mentioned that you did go to the 2022 Worlds Final and it was crazy. And having the big crowd just makes everything different, but you were saying.
Yeah, I will say I'm very excited to see how different it looks, because when it was in the US in 22, it still felt very like close to home. Didn't really feel real, but because I'm in a completely different environment, I'm very excited to see how other like international fans it's just like there's more energy here than I think I saw when I was back home.
So NA fans are boring.
That's not true. That's not true. But I do think it's a little scary being an NA fan at these international events, because we do have a track record of leaving. Team Liquid might be 0-2 right now. So, but I'm very hopeful. I love being in the crowd, being one of maybe 3 NA fans.
Actually, I wanted to talk about you a little bit other than Wells, because I think when people say, who's Basil? She's like the person who draws really cute cat memes. She's like a FlyQuest influencer. She's a streamer. She does a lot of content. But I also realized that you have very close ties with esports, and then that's one of your passions. So can you tell me more about your background or history with esports? How you got introduced, how you got started?
Yeah, so League of Legends is actually my first game that wasn't a single player game that I picked up. I started playing League, I want to say sometime in either middle school or high school, and it started off with like my friends just being like, you should play League. And slowly, as I realized like I really like this game, I started following LCS back when it was Team Liquid's 4 wins in a row.
that iteration, yeah.
So I think that's what really got me hooked. And ever since then, I think I was like 15, started streaming League. I started doing, with my art background, I started doing emotes for a lot of League streamers. Like I think like Solar Baka has some of my emotes, Sanchovies. And from then, I always liked the idea of joining an esports org. That was always fun.
Yeah.
And so I would draw like a lot of fan art for orgs. I think I used to be, don't tell FlyQuest this, I used to be a really, really, really big Team Liquid fan. So I used to draw them a lot of fan art. And then once Prince, I think, joined FlyQuest, that's when I started following FlyQuest a little more because I play ADC. So whenever I see really good ADC players, I really like to, follow them. And he was really sweet. Shout out Prince. But yeah, I want to say like that's how I progressed. Just like me slowly following League, I would fly to LA every summer or every other summer to kind of watch this summer split. And every time I was like, wow, I love this game. So I think that slowly is what brought me into the esports scene. And I got to meet people, made friends, and then FlyQuest reached out to me and now I'm here.
What is it about esports that makes you go every time, wow, I love this game?
I think just the idea that like a game that people created can bring so many people together. It affects like so many people's lives. I think that is such an amazing like concept. Seeing how esports, like whenever I watch those videos that people make about like going back on the years of like what League of Legends is, it always makes me emotional.
Oh,
and I'm like,
right. Yeah.
And to me, that's like an indication of like, wow, this means so much to me. I can't even imagine how much this means to like other people, like the players. And I think that emotional connection is what keeps me just like really engaged in this.
I think one of the reasons that why I also personally I really love League of Legends. I know that I started following Valorant. It's amazing. There are other esports around there, but League of Legends has such a rich history.
I agree.
Like I see Faker's playing, and it, not just the fact that Faker's a good player. You can draw back to, like you say, all the documentary and then like moments of victory of Faker all the way back to 2013 and him like, having low in his career and high in his career. And I know that NA fans are turning a bit skeptical right now, but the 2019 Team Liquid, like 4 wins in a row iteration, really gave them a lot of hope. And so I always look back to that moment very fondly. Yeah, I think like history is a big part of League of Legends. Would you say so, or would you say there are other things of League of Legends?
I would say history is definitely what keeps League of Legends like together. Like you said with Faker, I think so many people know, even my mom knows who Faker is, and she does not watch League of Legends at all. But I definitely think it's different from stuff like Valorant, because Valorant right now, I think it's very easy to like get into and leave if you don't like it. But with League, you kind of just have had to be here for a little bit. And so that's why I think we have so many like passionate fans, because once you step into League, it's really hard to step out because there's like so much history. Like you can go on YouTube and watch so many like Fakers, like history, and it's still continuing because he's still playing. And I think that alone, like for sure, keeps the community super close.
It's lovely to see like all those narratives continuing and also starting. What do you think about FlyQuest narrative? Dun dun.
So I think we've definitely shifted, because when I joined, we were very much like, it was the Prince, Vikla era. And I think the overall consensus was like, oh, this team is really good. We're cheering for this team. And then summer happened. We don't talk about that. I think we placed 9th. But I do know that there's been a shift in the community. Some people think we're like the evil team. Especially because in LCS, there was a lot of banter, a lot of some drama.
Oh, actually, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like Team Liquid are the nice, good guys with glasses sitting in the class.
The good guys who win,
and
the FlyQuest are the people that talk a lot and lose. But I think because, especially with this LCS win, we've been able to kind of redirect the narrative. That, we're just like passionate about the game and we just want to win and win as a team. So hopefully that'll help, people cheer for us now. It definitely is hard to cheer for NA. Like even before FlyQuest, watching Worlds, I remember I used to stay up to watch the NA teams absolutely get pummeled, and then I would close my laptop and go to sleep. So I'm just very hopeful that we do well, and I will still root for us even if we don't do well.
I actually thought about this subject a little bit. Because every time NA doesn't do well, I go to social media or like places like, communities, Reddit, and people feel devastated. And I get that sentiment, but at the same time, I follow football. And if Korea loses to Brazil and drops out, people don't feel that sad. And I think one of the reasons that people still feel very raw about that is it's only been a few years since NA could actually go to finals or like try to legit contest like Korea back in the COG days. It's only been 10 years. Maybe that's why.
I think it's because people come in with a lot of like expectation because we hope, like the gap is closing. So I do think a lot of fans are very quick to believe like, oh, it's over, you know? But I genuinely do think the gap is closing. And I mean, even watching these games, like even the games that we do lose, I think there's like hope. So yeah, social media definitely avoid after, you know, a loss. It gets a little intense, but I think there's room to have like hope, especially like this world and further, because I think we have gotten better. Yeah, maybe that's copium. I don't know.
I did realize that you have been traveling as a part of the big FlyQuest team, you know, the content team and the players and coaches and supporters. What are some things that you want people to know about FlyQuest that they don't know yet?
I want to say that I think people don't realize how close like these players are with each other, which is, you know, something that me running some of the socials, I'm trying to like push to be like, you know, yes, they're a team and they are kind of here because of League of Legends, but they do care about each other. For example, like, they all, at least recently, we all go on walks together. Like it'll be 9 p.m. We'll go on walks together, just talk. They go to the gym together, you know, they're like spotting each other at the gym. They have like conversations, they eat dinner together. They enjoy spending time with each other. And I think that's important for fans to know, especially with, you know, like team drama and stuff that always gets posted. I just want people to know that these players like do care about each other and do care about succeeding together.
What would it mean for you if FlyQuest makes it to Paris?
I'd be so happy because I think I was following League briefly when C9 made it to semis, right?
2018, that hurt us a lot. Africa lost 3-0.
Yeah, I remember that. That made us really happy. But I kind of want to see that happen again. Just because, like you said, like history, it'd be really nice to see like history repeat itself, and making it to Paris is the first step to making history repeat. And I think this roster really deserves it. They work really hard, especially with like younger players being coached by, you know, the more veteran players. I think there's a solid foundation, and seeing them improve is just like really nice.
Maybe NA may never win Worlds. I'm not sure. I don't know the future. Like maybe they do well, but like you said, Team Liquid's doing really well at MSI, or C9 making it to semifinals, or like for example, it's Europe. G2 making it all the way to the grand finals of 2019. It's so cold that I was in there watching those moments, and I can remember them and still feel passionate after many years. So perhaps that's what FlyQuest could do if they do go to Paris. It wouldn't be just that moment. Even after 5 years, we'll still be talking about it, and then we'll just feel something coming out of our chest.
I think those moments is what helps, at least like me as a viewer, not have my hopes at a 0%. There's always like at least put at a 5% that we make it really far, because like I said, Team Liquid, C9, all these like Western teams that have been able to make it far makes me like very hopeful that you never know, you know? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for this interview. I think this was like a really good conversation to get to know you, and also to talk about LoL Esports almost as a fan. You know, sometimes I miss doing that. Is there any final message that you want to give to the NA fans as one of the representatives representing them here at Berlin?
Please keep cheering for us. I know some games look really tough, but you never know, we can make it far. And I do think that, you know, the players can feel it when we're cheering for them. So I think we should keep doing that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Fighting!